Good morning, student. Myself, Professor Dhaval Chandarana. As we know that we are discussing our unit number 2, Information Technology Act, which is part of Cyber Law and Ethics subject. And guys, today is the third lecture of unit 2. As a previous, we will discuss two different lecture in form of basic introductions about IT Act, amendment and the limitations of IT Act in our first lecture. And our second lecture, we will discuss the digital signature model, and what are the important things which we help to access our data or keep our data in form of security with help of digital signature. Today we will discuss some interesting concept which is implemented a practical point of view, as well as it is the actual things which we require nowadays. And lots of banking technology, lots of websites, lots of messengers, social media like WhatsApp, Instagram and all the things which is we are daily using. These things which we are use directly or indirectly. So guys, today is the most interesting lecture in my personal point of view. We will discuss a cryptographic algorithm. Before we will start today's lecture, I will just give you one practical example. Whenever you communicate or whenever you are communicate with your friends with help of WhatsApp Messenger, you find one line: your data or application or communication must be hide or keep secret with help of cryptographic algorithm. So the word cryptography is implemented on the WhatsApp for keep secret your chatting, messaging, video call and the audio call. So now we are required to identify what was the cryptography, how the practically it should be implemented, because we are using on a day-to-day life on regular basis, but we are not clear idea about on a technical point of view, we are not clear what is a cryptography. So today's lecture is based on a cryptography and the algorithm which should be helped to keep a secret our information with help of cryptographic technology. So I hope you are view this particular video in a really interesting way. I will start a cryptographic algorithm. Before we will start any algorithm, first we know that a basic thing, what is a cryptography. It is a definition which we are discussing form of cryptography. A cryptography is the practice and the study of a technique for the securing communications and data in the presence of adversaries, means the actual real market. So cryptography is nothing but the practice and study, or we can say in technical concept, through which we can secure our communications, which we are discussing in form of WhatsApp example, and data with the presence of a requirement or market need. How the cryptography is work, it is shown in the figures. Our message is in form of a readable form. Our data should be secret with some of the key, and encryption and decryption, two most important part when we are discussing a cryptography. What is the encryption? Encryption is nothing but the technique to which we are converting our original message, or we can say a readable message, to an unreadable format. Means before the encryption, everyone can access a data and they can easily read it. But after they applying some of the techniques in form of encryptions, whatever the data should be generated after applying the encryption, the data never be in readable form. It is nothing but the internet, a transmissions between a message to receiver and a sender end. Then what was the decryptions? Decryption is nothing but a technology through which the data should be converted to your unreadable form to the readable format. But for that, the key must be required. Means a message should be converted encryption in form of private key. If they want to decrypt a particular message, they must be required public key. And if they're getting the same informations or they're getting some errors if they are not matched with the decryption algorithm, or they must not match with any kind of key. If they match with both the things, decryption and key, they're getting the actual message which is shown in the figure. If they're not matched, then they can find the error. And in our previous lecture, we will discuss same thing in form of digital signature. So it is the technique through which we can apply the encryption and decryption, and with help of encryption and decryption, the cryptography algorithm should be implemented. Now we discuss a different algorithm through which we can identify what is cryptography. Cryptography is broadly classified into the two categories known as a symmetric key cryptography and asymmetric key cryptography, popular known as a public key and a private key cryptography. So the diagram, it suggests that what is a different classifications of a cryptography. On the first note, on the first state, they are dividing in a symmetric key and asymmetric key. In a symmetric key, they have another two different sections known as a classical cryptography and the modern cryptography. Classical have a two different section known as the Transposition Cipher and the Substitution Ciphers. Before I will going to the modern cryptography, what is cipher? It is nothing but your original message or your unreadable concept. It is known as a cipher, plain cipher and unplain ciphers. And a modern cryptography have two different sections known as a stream cipher and the block cipher. And we will discuss each and every algorithm with help of example on a today's video lecture. Start with the symmetric cryptography and encryption. I will just revise that. What is encryption? It is nothing but the process of conversations or converting your original readable form message into the unreadable form. It is nothing but a encryption. So in the encryption system, in which the sender and a receiver of a message share a single or a common key that is used to encrypt and decrypt the message. And decrypt is nothing but the reverse process to converting your unreadable form message into the readable form. But in form of symmetric key cryptography, sender side and receiver side, or we can say in both the hand, we are using a common and single key for encryption and decryptions. So whenever some definition should be asked in exam, what is a symmetric key cryptography? We just mention the word on the both the hand, sender end and receiver end. We take a message, keep secret according to a one single key. It is known as a symmetric key. So the plain text, it is a original readable form message. We are converting our readable form message into the unreadable form with a encryption algorithm as well as secret key, and the message should be generated in unreadable form known as a ciphertext. Then on a receiver end, they can decrypt with help of same key, and after decryptions with help of secret key, they are getting the original plain text message. So it is the actual understanding about what is a symmetric key and how a symmetric key cryptography algorithm is implemented. Now we discuss asymmetric key. If you are intelligence and some common sense have, then you know that what is a symmetric key, because on a symmetrical concept we will use a single key for encryption and decryptions. So on the definitely we can say asymmetric cryptography, also known as a public key cryptography, in a process that uses a pair of related key, one public key and one private key, because a symmetric have only one key through which encryption decryption process will be happen. On another type of cryptography is known as asymmetric, it's nothing but to share a public private key cryptography to encrypt and decrypt a message and protect it from the unauthorized access or uses, because we know that what is a requirement of cryptography technology. So the diagram it suggests that how asymmetric key cryptography should be implemented. On the sender end, they want to transmit some of the data to the reception end. First, a data should be in form of plain text. They can apply an encryption algorithm on a plain text with help of receptionist a public key. After applying a encryption and key on the plain text, the generation is known as the ciphertext. On the receiver end, they must be getting a plain text message with help of decryptions and receptionist private key process. If they implemented both the thing on the ciphertext, then they can easily get a original plain text message who can send by a senders, or we can say a authorized senders. So I think now you are clear what is a difference between a symmetric key cryptography and asymmetric key cryptography. I will just remind that symmetric key cryptography have only one key through which sender and receivers both the case should be accessed on the same single share key, and asymmetric key they have a two different key to use encryptions and decryptions process to keep secret your personal message. Now they have two different sections is known as a classical cryptography, and the modern cryptography is take part of a symmetric key cryptography. A classical cryptography is based on the mathematical or mathematics, and it rely on the computational difficulty of fractioning large number. Means they have some mathematical formula. According to some mathematical formulations, we can take or we can kept our message into the secret form. The security of the classical cryptography is based on the high complexity of the mathematical problems for the instance factorizations of a larger number. So it is nothing but to define some mathematical formula according to the requirement, and according to the message security level we can apply the complexity of mathematical functions. It manipulates the traditional characters like letters and digits directly. With help of the combinations of letter and digits, the message should be converted into the unreadable form with help of some mathematical calculations. It is mainly based on a security through the obscurity. The technique employed for the coding were kept secret, and only the partitions involved or parties involved in the communications knew about them. Means if someone to access those information and read those information who can converting by the senders or authorized person, they must be require some technique as well as formula through which the data should be kept secret. It requires the entire crypto system for the communicating confidentially, because if some of the person or some of the informations should be leaked according to the techniques, according a letter or digit which is used in form of security, or some of the mathematical formula it should be leaked of some of the communicators, then a data is leaked on all over the world. So for that, all the participation must be required to communicate on a confidential matter. Second thing, it is known as a modern cryptography. Modern cryptography is the concentrations or cornerstones of a computer and communication security. Its foundation is based on the various concepts of mathematics such as a number theory, computational complexity theory, and a probabilities theory. So whenever exam should be come and if a question should be arise according to the modern cryptography, you just remember the three things through which a modern cryptography will be implemented on a regular life. Is nothing but a number theory, computational complexity theory and a probability theory. It operates on the binary bits sequence because we know that a computer system can easily understand a binary technology and you must be convert your any of the message into the binary form. It must be required. It relies on a publicly non-mathematical algorithms for coding the informations. Secrecy is the obtained through the secret key which is used as the seeds for the algorithm. So guys, one of the party who kept secret his or her private data, so there must be implemented some mathematical publicly acceptable algorithm and with help of secret key they can convert his plain text or original message into the unreadable form, and it is the process known as a modern cryptography because on a mathematical algorithm we can use a number theory, computational complexity theory or maybe a probability theory. Modern cryptography requires a parties interested in the secure communication to process the secret key only, because only one key should be kept secret. If the secret key is leaked, then the message never be a secret because all the things should be implemented in only a secret key concept. So if some of the informative concept or the person who can take part in the communication and they can leak a secret key informations, it is nothing but the algorithm, then everyone can easily access of all the data and they can retrieve actual information with the help of secret key. So secret key is must be take part a secret on a modern cryptography technology. Then a transposition cipher. Transposition cipher is a cryptographical algorithm where the order of alphabet in the plain text means a readable form message is rearranged, means we change the positions of alphabet to form a cipher text. In this process the actual plain text alphabets are not included, means we take some another alphabets and change the positions according to the requirement. For this we just change the positions of a plain text bit to generate a ciphertext message. A simple example for a transposition cipher is columnar transposition cipher. It is the one of the algorithm known as a transposition cipher technique will be used, where each character in the plain text is written horizontally with a specified alphabet width. The cipher is written vertically, which is create an entirely different cipher text. If you didn't get it this paragraph, then we will see the example. Consider the plain text hello world. It is our plain text. And let us apply the simple columnar transposition technique as shown in the below. Means how to write this hello world in the transposition cipher. In columnar transposition cipher, the plain text is written horizontally. Our message is hello world. We want to write into the horizontal 4/3 concept. So H E L L O W O R L D. It is known as a written in form of horizontal manner. Now what was the next step? With a specified alphabet width, we are using 4/3 matrix. Now the cipher is written vertically. Now if we want to convert our hello world plain text message with help of columnar technique, now we want to convert a ciphertext, we want to write in form of vertically. So what was the output? Is nothing but the plain text characters are placed horizontally and the ciphertext is created with the vertical format as HOI EWDLOLR. So I hope you are clear. If a one person want to communicate with another person, if they simply transmitted hello world, then everyone knows that what was the communication is happening between two parties. But same message should be transmitted in form of HOLEWDLOLR, then no one get easily identified that how the message should be transmitted between two parties, and no one knows what was the message is. It is the simplest technique of transposition cipher. We are not applying any mathematical or complex algorithm. We just change or rearrange our plain text message into some another position and generate the ciphertext. I hope you are clear this example, because it is the easiest ones and it is the simplest example of transposition cipher. Now the receiver has to use the same table to decrypt the ciphertext to a plain text. So they just put horizontally on a reverse manner. They're getting HOLEWDLOLR. They just use a 4x3 matrix and put into the vertical manner and read into the horizontal way, so they can easily identify what was the actual message is. So guys, it is the example of transposition cipher. Now what is a substitution cipher? In cryptography, a substitution cipher is a method of encrypting in which unit of plain text are replaced with the ciphertext. According to the fixed system, the unit may be single letters in the most of the common pair of letters, triplets of letters, or mixtures of above and so forth. Means the particular character should be transmitted for the single character. They can replace with the 2, 3 or more than 2. So it is nothing but the substitute. I think if you know the football game or any of the sports, they have some substitute player. If some of the player is injured, then the substitute player take part in this particular game. So it is the replacement of one of the person to some another person. It is nothing but the substitution, and the same name it shall be used with a substitution cipher. So whenever we are using a substitution cipher, if we want to write ABCD and a rotations of 13, it's nothing but M should be replaced with NO PQR. So now whenever we write a message hello and we rotate, or we can use a substitution cipher with rotation 13, then H should be replaced with U, E is replaced with R, L is replaced with Y, and O is replaced with B. So it is the conversion process of one word into some substitute word. And the example is mentioned with take example of 13 rotations. So we just change a position up to the 13 character and we getting some another message. But what was the drawback of substitution? We can easily get that if a same word should be replaced with a common identity, like L, it is 2 times L will be used, so they can replace only 2Y. So it is one of the drawback of substitution. When some combination of word or two different word it happened, then it should be not easy to get the information. But a same word will be used on our message repeatedly, then some of the hacker, they can easily get that the technique is known as a substitution, because they have only single information with a single word. Means L is only conversation with the Y. So in our message, if we are using 100 times L, so they can replace only Y on all the 100 possibilities. So it is one of the drawback of substitution cipher. Now what is a stream cipher? A stream cipher is a method of encrypting text to proceed the ciphertext in which a cryptographic key and algorithm are applied to each binary digit in a data stream, one bit at a time. Guys, the word is definitely highlight if you are prepare a book. Whenever we discuss a stream cipher, your conversation process of plain text to a ciphertext, they change a one by one bit at a time. This method is not much used in a modern encryption technology or cryptographic technology because they have take lots of time to converting your plain text to the ciphertext because of only one thing. They can change one bit at a time. So if your message is 10 to 20 page and more than that, then they take more than 1 or 2 days. So it is the process conversion of key stream generator and key use the encryption technology. Your plain text should be take part, and after identity of key generator string encryption process, they apply a key stream generator which is generated by one, and plain text should be converted into the ciphertext message. And on the receiver end, one bit should be sent to the sender end. They identified the text, decrypt those particular text with help of key stream generator and getting the actual plain text message. But guys, you must be remember whenever we discuss a stream cipher, the process should be happen with algorithm it a one bit at a time. They are not converting multiple bit conversion process of plain text to the ciphertext. So it is one of the drawback in nowadays or modern era. So on the block cipher, name itself suggests that if a stream cipher converting process is one by one, then block cipher, a name itself defined that we are converting our plain text message into the ciphertext message into the multiple bit on a single time. It is known as a block cipher. So the block cipher is an encryption method that applies a deterministic algorithm along with a symmetric key. What is a symmetric key? On first algorithm we will discuss symmetric key is nothing but to take part of both the process encryption and decryption with help of single key. To encrypt a block of text rather than the encryption or encrypting one bit at the same time in a stream cipher. Means whenever we applying a block cipher and converting process of encryption to decryption, they use a block of text, so they can not take a much time compared with the stream cipher. So the block of plain text will be applied into the encryption process. With help of encryption key, we will generate a block of ciphertext. If we are using a stream cipher, then the conversion process is take a bit by bit and longer time. But for this solution, we will use a block cipher. So guys, it is the things which we are discussing for the today's lecture is cryptographical algorithm, and we will discuss each and every algorithm with sufficient example and a diagram. I hope you are enjoying, and I hope you are learn how the practically implemented a security algorithm and data will be kept secret with help of those algorithms which we are discussing in today's video lecture. I hope you are enjoying. Please keep watching those all video. Due to a pandemic situations, I will not able to take a physical class. You must be compete with any of the doubt with a personal contact. I hope you are like my video. Thank you so much.